Okay, let's proceed with this logic discussion here. We're just really going to proceed through all of these points, point to point, and see the whole conversation as it plays out, before we even consider what we want to try and refute. So we searched the room and board from top to bottom and found no recording equipment or anything. I mean, you could do all that with just a smartphone, couldn't you? And it's not like we body searched anyone. Anything could have been smuggled into the room and board. Let's not forget the most troubling possibility. There's no reason to believe Sheol didn't have accomplices. Also true. Nathan, it's okay. Take a breath. You don't want to think badly of people you know. We understand. There is no comfortable reality when it comes to the room and board. It's the price of admission. If this is going to be distressing to you, Mr. Montclair, you don't have to participate. No, I want to know the truth. I do, but truth can be a betrayal. There are some things I just know I believe. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Well, hey, you're half right at least. I mean, it's ridiculous to suggest that Sheol died their own game. Can we be certain of that? Like I said, it was genuinely Sheol who called on us 2 weeks ago. I'd stake my life on it, and I have. For what it's worth, we can be fairly certain Sheol was alive after the room and board, given that the live stream was properly terminated and the donation money collected. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well for us four. But I'm glad we can spare the 5 we lost from suspicion at least. Not quite. I agree that Doc, Salem, and Ace likely are on Sheol, but the other 2 are a different story. Blue's and Roland's deaths were never confirmed. Either of them could easily be Sheol. Oh. What do you mean their deaths were never confirmed? Only 4 people that could escape the room and board. That meant that 5 got left behind. 3 of those 5 people never made it to the final day, but Blue and Roland did. After he left, though, no one ever saw them again. Which is to say that Sheol probably killed them. Or rather, Roland probably killed Blue and then made his escape. Oh, is that an accusation I hear? You think Roland is Sheol? There's plenty of reason to suspect him. His key, for instance. The revolver. Roland had a powerful advantage. Could that not have been a tactic to ensure Sheol's own safety? But that advantage only made us suspect him more. And yet that gun never left Roland's possession. Not once. In fact, the revolver was the only key. It was the only key not used to escape. It was still in his possession when we left. Escape with the fire truck and bracelet. Escape with the stethoscope and the bear. Voodoo doll and baseball. Jade and harmonica. Pariah or not, his gambit worked, didn't it? That's hardly proof. Maybe not. But there was one more thing strange about him. His behavior. In what way? He was a pretty average guy from what I remember. That's just it. He was always reasonable, wasn't he? No threats, no demands. Not the behavior you'd expect from the only person with a gun in a life-threatening situation. Which can be easily explained when you consider this man's personality. I've got to agree. Don't you think you're jumping to conclusions tomorrow? No, I'm not. Power imbalances in extremely high-stress situations overrule morality. The hell does that mean? I don't know. I've seen it happen. Firsthand. In Iraq. First person, in fact. The human mind wasn't built to withstand other people's fear. Or something. I'm no psychologist. I've seen good men and women do terrible things. People change when they have a weapon in their hands. Roland didn't. I think I've made my point. Could I ask a question? Someone mentioned something a while ago about a live stream and donations. Yep, Sheol's room and board was live streamed to an online audience. I'm going to regret asking this, but what in God's name for? Fun? Jesus. Well, there was more to it than that. It was a bona fide capitalist venture, too. Viewers could donate money to the stream, and in exchange, Sheol would spice things up a bit. The cupboards. Precisely. You referred to those strange drawers in the living room. Hold on. Living room? What? As if forming a mental image of this place wasn't hard enough already. Yeah, there was a living room, and a rec room, and a kitchen, and a bunch of bedrooms. The cupboards are all in the living room, though. None of them. What do they have to do with the live stream, exactly? You can think of them like donation incentives. Stretch goals. Well, actually, that's exactly what they were. When funding met certain milestones, Sheol would open a cupboard. I'm not sure I understand. What was inside these cupboards? Lots of different things. And none of them good. I was in booze, things that can be turned to advantage. Advantage? Indeed. Perhaps it would be best to illustrate with an example. All the furniture in the room and board was bolted to the floor. We didn't understand why initially. With the addition of the wrench, however, one could unbolt said furniture and move it about. Roland used the wrench to build a barricade. We spent 3 days trapped in the main hall. When combined with the cupboard 4's breaker panel, those last days were very dark, indeed, literally. We spent more than a full day in utter darkness. That was the worst of it by far. The only light we had was a box of matches. Even some of the investigators were complaining how creepy the place was. Hey, wait. Speaking of the investigation, we ain't heard a thing about what the feds found in the room and board. Why's that, Murdoch? You really found a way to bring this around to me, huh? Hey, man, you were supposed to prosecute the room and board. I'd say you owe us a chat. Think of it as an opportunity to prove you ain't full of crap. How generous of you. You understand I never actually got to prosecute anyone, right? And why was that? Because we never caught Sheol, obviously. I realized that, prosecutor. I was asking for elaboration. Never caught Sheol because the investigation didn't turn up any evidence. I'm not trying to be patronizing. I really didn't find anything. Elaborate anyway. Fine. For starters, Sheol picked a good location. The board took place in an abandoned nuclear shelter in the middle of the woods. The elderly landowner never noticed a thing. He didn't even know the bunker existed. To be fair, it was a very large plot of land. Hard to forget those woods. We all got lost immediately after escaping. Speak for yourself. I navigated my way out just fine. The point is, no one saw anyone going in or out of those woods. On the topic of witnesses, we also have to consider the live stream. Fortunately, we haven't been able to track down any of the viewers. The whole operation is untraceable. Nothing at all. Can't say I know much about network security, but that seems unlikely. This crime against humanity is sponsored by NordVPN. I suspect Sheol handpicked his audience. It's like they were given strict instructions for attendance. Of course, that all remains theory. No communications from Sheol have been uncovered either. Did none of these people ever reach out to law enforcement? Did none of them regret anything? Some did, actually. 2, I believe. In fact, they're the only reason we know the live stream existed at all. I've basically already told you everything they told us. Naturally, discretion was the agreed upon price for their cooperation, so, yeah. What about the room and board itself? It was even worse. No physical evidence. How was that even possible? Fire. Gas dispersal mechanism was installed in the bunker's ventilation system, remote controlled. With a push of a button, the entire bunker could be filled with carbon monoxide gas. We suspect the purpose of the system was twofold. 1, could be used to remotely kill everyone in the nuclear shelter. It's like it served as both a panic switch and a way to end the game. It's likely how Blue and Roland died. How horrible. And 2, carbon monoxide is a highly flammable gas. If an open flame were introduced into the bunker after it had been filled with carbon monoxide, well, we definitely didn't find any stray hairs, let's put it that way. But wait, shouldn't there have been evidence left that didn't burn? What about the bodies? Ah, yeah, there's an explanation for that. Huh. Move the bodies in the unused key. Not everything was disintegrated, of course. We found glass and metal and charred bits of furniture. But none of that proved useful. All the important evidence was snatched away. You say Sheol removed evidence. Does that mean? Yes, it does. Sheol entered the room and board immediately following the game's conclusion. Huh. Yeah, he did. In all likelihood. But didn't you just tell us that the room and board was probably filled with carbon monoxide? Oh my, I seem to have stumbled into a contradiction. Heavens. Heavens to Betsy. Only there was some way to mask one's face against gas. Any thoughts, Zero? Very humorous. Forget about that. Murdoch, are you seriously telling me that if we had just waited outside the bunker that day, you probably would have run into Sheol, yes. Anywho, that's all I've got. There's never been a concrete lead on Sheol for good reason. Several reasons, actually. Which only goes to show why I think this discussion is a colossal waste of time. But you could leave that statement off the record if you like. That didn't sit right with me, huh? No shortage of those, I'm afraid. Yet it still feels as though we are searching for a needle in a haystack. You're all being ridiculous. We're not going to get anywhere if we don't face this head-on. Since no one seems to want to say it, I'll do the honors. Alright. We have very little in the way of actual pictures of Blue and Roland, so they could very easily disappear. Well, there's definitely one thing that stood out to me from the get-go. No physical evidence. Bishop's memo mentioned the tooth. wait just a damn minute here. No physical evidence was recovered at all. Nice try, asshole, but that's a lie. Yeah. What? This ought to be good. A lie, you say? On what grounds do you accuse the prosecutor of lying? Check it. This is the memo Bishop left behind. It's right here at the top of the second paragraph. It was granted permission to re-examine material evidence from the room and board. Of particular interest to me was the tooth. Wait, what? Tooth? They found someone's tooth in the room and board? Reads pretty clear to me. Well, Murdoch? Still want to pretend you don't know nothing? Come on, spill it. There's nothing to spill. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're really playing dumb. Bro, this is the most straightforward contradiction we've had all case. Like I said, no physical evidence was recovered from the room and board whatsoever. I shouldn't need to specify this, but that applies to teeth, too. You deny that a tooth was found? Yeah. Because no tooth was found. How do you explain this? I don't know. All I know is that there was no tooth. Sorry to interrupt, but doesn't that tooth have to exist? I mean, just read the paragraph. Detective Bishop makes it sound like he really went and looked at this tooth. Quite true. It even says he went through the proper channels. See what I mean? This tooth can't not be a thing. You feel me, Murdoch? Truth be told, I'm not convinced this tooth is real either. What do you mean? It's written right here in plain English. Bold of me to assume I can read. But even if we assume the worst of Prosecutor Murdoch, why would he lie about this? Obviously, because that tooth would lead us to Sheol's identity. I mean, there could always be the explanation that he didn't actually know as well as he thought he did. Bishop seems to disagree. Well, that's... Thank you, Miss Rochelle, for being the voice of reason. For once. Can dental records be checked against a single tooth? They can, although Bishop implies this one is damaged beyond identification. But you could still extract the DNA from inside, couldn't you? You could if the interior was protected against the fire, which doesn't seem to be the case here. Regardless, there is no tooth, so this is all hypothetical. I ain't buying that shit, man. There's something here. Yo, Chuck, you talk to Bishop about this stuff sometimes, right? You know what he's on about? Yo, Charlie. I hear you. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to remember something. Something Kurt Bishop said? No. Something from 5 years ago. From when I was being interrogated. From the interrogations. Yeah. I was just thinking to myself, if this thing Kurt saw wasn't really a tooth, then what was it? Then I remembered. There was something. Evidence, maybe. It was broken, like this tooth is supposed to be, but I can't remember what it was. Oh? Are you referring to that small piece of metal? Yes! Yes, that's it! That thing! That metal thing! What was that? There wasn't much to it, really. It was just metal. Investigators asked me about it as well. It was very small. Could have been larger than my fingernail. One side was very sharp, I believe. And the other was blunt, as if it had been broken off of something else. Mr. Montclair, can you remember what that investigators wanted to find out about it? If I recall, simply asked if I recognized it. But I didn't, and that was that. How about it, Murdoch? You gonna play dumb about this one, too? No, you're all actually making sense this time. In the early stages of the investigation, there was indeed a small chunk of metal. That, at the time, was considered critical forensic evidence. But that attribution didn't stick. Why not? Because we couldn't figure out what the hell it was. It was a piece of metal that had clearly broken off of something larger, sure. And the problem was, nothing in the room and board fit the description. But unfortunately, that small scrap of steel doesn't convey a whole lot by itself. just when you said no physical evidence whatsoever. Evidence is only evidence if it tells you something. I got a question. Kurt went to review physical evidence of some kind. This broken tooth. If this tooth isn't real, what did he get permission to look at? Couldn't say. Do you think it might have been the only critical forensic evidence ever found? This piece of metal? Setting the question of its criticalness aside, all I can say is that it's not a tooth. On that, I believe we can all agree. But then, where does that leave us? It doesn't leave us anywhere. We've established nothing. No thanks to you. We're not playing Guess Who, you novice. This won't cut it. We need concrete proof we're going to catch Sheol, not unsubstantiated guesswork. That's quite different from the philosophy you preached to me earlier. Wouldn't know philosophy if it reached out and smacked you. I believe we have exhausted this topic of conversation, but I suggest we return to our discussion and try to find a different approach. Let's do that then. Oh shit. The only problem about this is that once you are in a press discussion, you can't actually skip to the next statement here like that. Okay. Now that we're back here, we can actually skip between our statements here. No recording equipment. Not like we body searched anyone. Oh god damn it, didn't mean to do that. Picked up by 1 inch and now we have to get through here. Doing Roland's death. Powerful advantage. Cupboards. Wrench, build a barricade. She'll remove the bodies of the unused key. She'll enter the room and board immediately following the game's conclusion. Is there something to be made of the 9th cupboard being empty? Presenting the cupboard here, it triggers something? Move. What? What is this? Move. Everything's been still. For so long. The direction won't, but doesn't matter. What? Move! What does this mean? What? Wait, what? Why are we tomorrow? Hold up. What are you doing to me, game? Check the court record here. Broken pipe. What is this, an intervention? We are suddenly Damara, and I don't know why. Is this a memory of Damara's? Rather. Why are we body surfing here? That's odd. Usually a certain someone points out inconsistencies as soon as they appear. It's rare that the responsibility falls to me, of all people. Huh? What does this mean? You found something, Tamara. Sheol took the key and the bodies and left everything else to burn. I'm paraphrasing, but that's more or less what you said, right, Murdoch? Sure, but I'm not seeing the problem. Problem is the 9th cupboard. The 9th... Mental Mori, when the 9th line ate the sun! If the 9th cupboard was really empty when the FBI found it, it could only be because Sheol deliberately removed its contents along with the key and the bodies. According to this page, the last cupboard never opened, but why not? All the others did. It could only be because the final donation milestone wasn't met, right? Didn't meet all the stretch goals. I suppose so. The final day of the game was rather anticlimactic, after all. Mia is probably right, but there's something more important to consider here. Do we have any reason to care? Heck, for all we know, the 9th cupboard was empty all along. There was definitely something inside. But you never saw the thing, right? No, but I could smell it. Huh? Really? 9th cupboard smelled faintly of gasoline. Surely the two of you noticed. No, I think I'd remember that. It wasn't particularly strong. If you put your face near it, it undeniably smelled of gasoline. Actually, I do recall getting the faintest hints of something like that in the living room. Wait, seriously? Why the hell would it have smelled like gasoline? Wouldn't it be because there were containers of gas inside? That, or something with a motor. And perhaps a leak. This is all very fascinating, but that 9th cupboard never opened. It never mattered. It can be definitively said that the contents of that cupboard had no effect on the room and board. Maybe so, but let me ask you this. Why did Sheol remove the contents, of this cupboard? Probably because it was incriminating somehow? That doesn't make any sense. There wasn't anything stopping us from taking the contents of those cupboards with us when we left. I doubt Sheol would have risked it putting incriminating evidence into the investigators' hands. Brought the contents of the other cupboards. Did Sheol take those as well? No, he didn't touch them. Charred remains of all that stuff was found by investigators. Aside from the Thinker statue and the stun gun that Tamara and Graves left with, respectively. But wait a moment. Why would Sheol have taken the bodies or the revolver at all in that case? It's possible that Doc, Salem, Roland Blue, or Ace could have lived instead of one of us. It's also possible that some other key would have been left behind instead of the revolver. None of these things are likely to have been incriminating, as you say. So I may go off with any of it. It appears we fail to understand even Sheol's basic motivations. I'll reiterate that our chances of catching Sheol like this are basically nil. Nevertheless, we must try. Oh, I just realized I forgot something. Objection! There. How was that? Very nice. Well done, Tamara. Oh. We're back. It's Diego. Okay, so you literally present the back button to go back to the main menu screen if you accidentally hit the evidence bullet here. No recording equipment or anything. Impregnable locked room, easiest target. Social player. Latent tensions. You don't know where this is going. I've been at this for a while. I had to consult assistance for this one, but... I'm not sure where this is going. That smooth transition, though, to Winters. I'm sorry. I don't know why I yelled just now. We're wearing off on you, huh? Don't say things like that. Did you have something to add, Nurse Winters? I don't know. Maybe? I mean... isn't Nathan's claim wrong? Maybe? Pardon? Yo, did Winters just find a contradiction? She's showing y'all up, man. And you... Don't make this into a big thing. This needs to be a thing. Turn it off! Sorry. Couldn't resist. The song was on Mr. Armando's phone for some reason. You cracked our phones? Just yours. No one else was foolish enough to make their passcode 12345678890. What do you care, anyways? It's clearly just a burner. It's the spirit of the thing. I think we're getting off track. What's this problem you noticed, Winters? Nathan said they searched the bunker from top to bottom, right? According to Detective Bishop's notes, there was an impregnable locked room. Oh, okay. So, which is it? Oh, well, that's right. He's referring to that locked 9th bedroom, isn't he? Bedroom? So, you got it open eventually? No, we didn't. There was no key, and the lock held even under gunfire. It was obviously a bedroom. There were 8 other doors just like it in the main hall. I'm not really following. The bunker had 2 floors. The kitchen, living room, rec room, and elevator were all on the first floor. The second floor, there was a large antechamber with 9 doors. Those were our bedrooms. Or rather, 8 of those doors led to bedrooms. 9th one was locked. What for? I think it's actually pretty obvious when you think about it. There were 9 players, but only 8 available beds, right? I think Sheol originally planned for everyone to have a bedroom. Decided partway it'd be more fun for him if one person was excluded. The 9th bedroom was left locked. More cause for chaos, you mean? Exactly. One more straw for the camel to carry. Of course, that's just my theory. I have no idea if there was actually another bedroom behind that door. I'd love to throw you a super spicy twist. You're absolutely right. It was just a bedroom. I admit that's somewhat disappointing. I think it'd be way worse if you'd actually missed a secret exit. Did the FBI find anything in that bedroom? Nothing. It was charred. Just as black as the rest. For all intents and purposes, it was just a part of the bunker that didn't get used. Honestly, I think Detective Klein hit the nail on the head there. Meaning we have reached a dead end. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Let's get back to the discussion. I'm sure we'll find something if we just keep digging. I wouldn't bet on it. That's it, then, I guess. Looks like pointing out this minor contradiction was all I could do. It's something. Sorry, Mom. I hope it's enough. Sorry. I I know we have more important things to do, but I have another question. It's never come up or even been acknowledged, really, but there's a guiding principle to all this, isn't there? A pattern, I guess. The number 9. And I'm getting the impression that you all know what I'm talking about, and you all know what it means. But, well, I don't. I don't get it, so could somebody fill me in? Hard to miss, isn't it? Ooh, okay. Prominent theme of the room and board with the number 9. 9 days, 9 players, 9 keys. Okay, but why? Good question. Any thoughts, Zero? I think I know the answer to this, actually. It's a glorified reference, wasn't it? To a video game. 9-something. Oh, you were being serious? I didn't think you'd actually put that one together. Not like it was hard to find. Took me maybe 10 minutes of Google searching. But yeah, it's a game. Almost a decade old, I think. People get kidnapped, and the number 9 is thematically important somehow. Basically, it hit a little too close to home, so I didn't play much of it. Guess Sheol's a fan, though. This was all inspired by a video game. I'll be honest, that pisses me off a bit. So did number 9 mean anything in this case, or, put it simply, no. The 9 pattern never actually mattered, but it was always there, in the background. Indeed, although Sheol was certainly obtuse about it. The pattern was present right from the start. Do y'all remember the puzzle we had to solve? Born anew has 9 characters. Perhaps that was because the solution was split evenly among us. Wait, hold on. What? Borna? Now what are we talking about? Poor Winter, she's suffering here. Ah, yeah, that thing. When we woke up with the room and board, we were immediately thrown into some puzzle thing? Doors to our bedrooms were locked. The keys were hidden in safes under the bed. Password protected. The only way out was to solve the code. Password been split up. Most of the characters were hidden in our bedrooms. We always hid under the desk in my room, for instance. Our bedrooms were arranged in a circle, and the walls weren't soundproofed, so we could collaborate, albeit with difficulty. Our keys were also found in our bedrooms, but that's the only other thing worth noting. About these keys, let me see if I have this right. There was a bracelet, a harmonica, a stuffed bear, a hunk of jade, a baseball, a toy fire truck, a voodoo doll, revolver, and a stethoscope. How exactly did these things function as keys? They weren't literal keys, of course. They were electronic. You just get a transmitter inside. A sensor inside the elevator would turn it on if it detected 2 signals. Since the elevator was the only way out of the room and board, these items were functionally keys. And for clarity's sake, the elevator was shut tight until the 9th day. It could be assumed that Sheol entered the bunker immediately following the game, correct? How did they use the elevator? Remote override of some kind? Actually, there was very little Sheol could do to remotely influence the room and board. There was the gas dispersal system I brought up before, but that was just about it. To use the elevator, Sheol likely had 2 spare sensors with them. Or 2 keys. Hold up. What about the cupboards and stuff? The cupboards were all automatic. And if by stuff you were talking about the surveillance system, Sheol had complete control over the live stream, the microphones, and the cameras. The hell of a stream deck Sheol has. But those things couldn't really influence the game, though. So there were cameras. I suppose that only makes sense. I'm guessing they were hidden, or else you'd have just smashed them all. We couldn't, actually. Sheol made sure our hands were tied. The room and board was lawless, but there was one house rule, as he called it. In a nutshell, we weren't allowed to tamper with anything. The cameras, the keys, the elevators, etc. To dampen the idea of rebellion, I suspect. That was probably part of it, yeah. It wasn't like Sheol could pause the game, come down and fix up if we damage it. If we had somehow broke the elevator, the game would have been over. That would have been bad for everyone, including his paying viewers. We could do anything we wanted as long as we didn't interfere with the entertainment value. Entertainment value? Huh. I wish I could have seen Sheol's face when he realized his game was about to end with a whimper. We've danced around the events of the final day for a while. But what actually happened? How did the game end? From the perspective of those watching the live stream, it must have been rather disappointing. There's no great confrontation on the final day. There wasn't even any blood spilled. Well, not on camera, I presume. You possibly presume correctly. If one or two whistleblowers are to be believed, Lou's and Roland's deaths were not shown in the live stream. And that was that. The game just ended. There was barely even a climax. But how could that be? After 8 days, the tension must have been unimaginable. We have Eric to thank for that. The whole situation was pretty complicated, though. At the end, there were 2 teams, Graves, Blue, and Roland, and Damara, Nathan, and myself. A few days prior, the other team picked up that socket wrench. They put it to good use. It's already been mentioned, but the 3 of us spent most of the final 2 days trapped in the main hull. That's not to mention the constant darkness. We could get out, but not quietly. And whenever we tried, Roland was always there to push us back at gunpoint. Essentially, we were on a timer. Our team had 6 of the 9 keys, but we had to go through Roland to reach the elevator. Just a moment. Wouldn't turning the electricity off interfere with the entertainment value, as it were? Good catch, but no. The surveillance system wasn't tied into the circuit breaker panel. And the cameras could be remotely switched over to night vision. Of course, this required Sheol to be aware of what was happening in the room and board at all times. Indeed. The odds are rather stacked against us, weren't they? But we had one thing on our side. A certain man's selfishness. I still can't believe he found a flippin' taser of all things. But lo and behold, honestly, with a bracelet and no bedroom, and just his demeanor in general, Deus Ex Machina to seal the deal is just the cherry on top. So how'd Graves pull it off? He turned traitor. That morning, Eric knocked Blue and Roland unconscious and escaped. He was the first one out. But we had been waiting at the barricade since dawn, so we heard the scuffle between him and Roland. And that's when we pounced. The 3 of us left one after another. I was first, then Charlie, then Nathan. And just like that, it was over. Actually, that reminds me. I offered to go last, but you declined for some reason, didn't you, Nathan? Ah, yes, I remember. That was quite the brave offer considering the circumstances. And yet you refused. I did. There was something I had to do before I left. Roland and I had made a deal, you see. I had promised him that if he should be rendered unable, I would take his journal to the authorities. And so I did. He was out cold, but the journal was in his jacket pocket where he always kept it. And you were the last person to lay eyes on the room and board, and I have to ask, did you notice anything unusual? Was anything out of place? To be clear, my attention was elsewhere. After 8 days, freedom was nearly at hand. I admit I was hesitant to fulfill my promise at all. Nevertheless, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. Oh? Hold on. I think I may have just remembered something. You have? Yes? Perhaps? Give me just a moment, please. Remember, I had just taken the journal from Roland. I was waiting for the elevator for it to return. No. The elevator had come back down, and I had just stepped inside. And just as I was about to press the button to leave, everything went black. What? I don't know if the elevator had malfunctioned or if I had simply lost myself for a moment, but whatever the reason, I was completely blind for about 4 or 5 seconds, I think. And then all of a sudden, the world came back, and I could see again. Are you certain about this, Mr. Montclair? Truthfully, my memory is not what it once was, but I vividly recall that when I pushed the button, I was terrified that my freedom had been stripped from me at the very last moment. What does this mean, then? I've not the slightest idea, I'm afraid. I mean, there has to be an explanation for this, right? Anyone got anything? Fainting's a common occurrence in high-stress situations, and you had more than enough reason to be stressed, I think. Perhaps. What about after, though? Did it happen again? No. The elevator took me to the surface, and I put the entire occurrence out of mind. Did either of you have a similar experience? Not that I remember. I was fine. Great, even. Perhaps the elevator truly did malfunction. It's possible. The thing was originally installed in the 70s. You got a tune-up, of course. But I somehow doubt Sheol is a certified elevator mechanic. Hey, not to put this topic on ice or anything. But what happened after all this? After the game? Does it have anything to do with our current objective? Montclair wasn't the last person to use the elevator, right? It was Sheol retrieving the bodies. It only happened after the game, so yeah. Look, man, I don't know. I'm mostly just curious, alright? Like, what did you do in this situation? I can only speak for myself, but, I reached the surface and no one was around, so I picked a direction and set off into the woods. Though you knew your teammates were probably right behind you, I was under no obligation to wait for anybody. I did the same thing, for what it's worth. By the way, sorry about that, Nathan. I admit I was somewhat sour about it at the time, but I don't hold it against either of you. So you all wandered around in the woods for a few hours or what? None of us knew where we were. What else could we have done? In other words, any one of you could have put a gas mask on and doubled back, yeah? It's true. All 4 of them testified that they immediately left the scene and saw no one for hours. But surely someone couldn't have dismantled the room and board. And then navigated through that dense forest in only a few hours. Unfortunately, there was a small service road nearby. If there was an accomplice, or even just a car waiting, then there's no problem with this theory. We can be pretty sure there was, since Sheol had to dispose of the body somehow. Did none of these people find this road as they were wandering around? Hilariously, no. They all went in the exact opposite direction. Or so they say. Once again, we're at the mercy of their testimony. There's nothing else to go on. Despite all our efforts throughout the years, we've yet to uncover even a single suspect. And all things considered, that hasn't changed, so fingers crossed, I guess. Alright, so this is our loot point. Let's see what we can make of this. Okay, there is actually an easy one here, and that's coming back to Eric not actually having his own room.
Objection!
Ooh, who's this objecting? Hold on, just a moment. Oh, that's Montclair. This testimony contradicts the evidence. Oh, everyone's getting an objection. Oh, we can see Montclair's court record now. It's got a teddy bear. My key. It's very soft and... hold on. Huh? Hold on. Don't tell me I misplaced it again. Where'd I leave the old fellow this time? In your court record, silly? That's just a cute touch to show that we're changing characters here. That's cool. This testimony contradicts the evidence. That's your own testimony, man. Oh, so it is. Nevertheless, it contradicts the evidence. I admit, this is a new one. What seems to be your problem with you, Mr. Montclair? To unlock the safes and escape our bedrooms, we first had to solve the password, yes? Born anew. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 characters long, and each of us had been given one. This is incorrect. Though there may be one character per player, Eric did not participate. Yeah, I remember Roland complaining about something along those lines. Missing space. Quite. Of the 9 characters required, Sheol only gave us 8. Born anew. Okay, sure, but it was the space, yeah? Being short of space is a lot different than being short a letter. I mean, we solved the thing in the end, didn't we? I don't think I'm following this conversation. Let me make it easy then. The solution to the puzzle was born anew. Ace had the B, Roland had the O, Montclair had the R, Blue had the first of the 2 N's, Miss Rochelle had the A, Doc had the second N, Salem had the E, Detective Klein had the W. Graves had nothing, and no one was given the space in the middle. Evidently, Graves was not included in this exercise. And nor did he need to be, since the puzzle was solved without him or the missing character.
Objection!
But that's just it. Eric was given a letter just like the rest of us. Do you recall his bracelet? S? It was right there, emblazoned on the LCD screen. The letter S. Wait, wasn't that a 5? Or it's an LCD, they're the same damn thing. Regardless, if we had to talk to Eric through the bedroom doors and asked him to find the letter, it certainly would have said S. And if he had indeed done so, what would have happened? Born anew? Borns S. S-W-O-R-N. We get S-W-O-R-N. Sworn Bane. Or Sworn Bean. Or Worn Beans. Other various forms of legumes. Why? We'd have had all 9 characters of a 9-character password and we'd be wrong. Ergo, the puzzle would have been impossible to solve. Alright, wait just a second here. Doing the mental gymnastics? Trying to sort of work it out? What do you got? I hate to be that guy, but does this actually mean anything? For all we know, Sheol's just bad at making puzzles. We don't know it means nothing. Yeah, I do not know that it isn't not maybe unmeaningless, alright? That's not my point. My point is that unless we can follow through on this, it may as well be meaningless. So, if Graves had participated in the Born Anew puzzle, it would have rendered it unsolvable. Does anybody have an explanation for this? And there you have it. I admit this is actually a fairly compelling line of thought. If we can't make anything of it, then we're wasting our time. Believe in us. We can do this. Close to an answer, I can feel it. We just need to push on a little further. Everything has led to this moment. Let's not lose heart. This whole Roland's, this whole, Towers Power friendship thing. Oh, I I am just also realizing something, another interesting fact here. We got somewhere along the way we unlocked everyone's profiles, including Roland. Might have had this all along the way. Also, hi Volkov. You're here too. Where'd you go, Volkov? There you are. Hmm. Anyway, let's get back to whatever dumb thing we were doing before. We have only so many hours to a day. Okay, Murdoch, chill. Interesting note in Roland's profile. This last known location unconscious beneath cupboard 4. What was in cupboard 4? The power control. That means something, doesn't it? Did Roland kill the power?
Objection!
Charlie? Actually, I'm not so sure this elevator malfunction thing is the mystery we're making it out to be. If you have an explanation, Charlie, I'd be glad to hear it. I don't see how we could, given our abject dearth of deets. I'm telling you, we're overthinking this. So, the elevator malfunctioned suddenly, as in the power got cut, right? We already know there's a way to control the electricity in the room and board. Cupboard 4 breaker panel. Exactly. For 3 successful runs, the elevator mysteriously loses power with no apparent cause. It's pretty likely that this happened because somebody flipped the circuit breaker. But who could have done such a thing? Who? It's obvious, isn't it? It was Roland.
Objection!
Do I need to attribute this objection? I mean, really?
Objection!
Roland was unconscious when Nathan took the journal from him. Who's to say if that was still the case after he stepped into the elevator? I think I may have stirred him. It's possible, isn't it?
Objection!
Crying devil's proof won't cut it, I'm afraid. For example,
Objection!
it's completely reasonable for Roland to have flipped the breaker.
Objection! Objection!
It was completely reasonable for Roland to have flipped the breaker back on, too. Then pray tell, Detective Klein. Roland was left unconscious directly beneath cupboard 4 and the circuit breaker panel. Speaking from personal experience, it's damn hard getting up after getting zapped by a stun gun. If he had used the wall to brace himself, to help him stand, could he have accidentally? If he had accidentally turned the power off to the living room as well, then he would have immediately turned the breakers back on.
Objection!
So maybe Roland was conscious when the game ended. Maybe. But so what? What could he do besides walk around in circles and die from carbon monoxide inhalation? There were no more keys. There was no more anything. So he was conscious. So what? No idea. You agree that this has been pointless, then? Don't know if I'd go that far, Murdoch. Don't know if I care. Alright, we're wrapped up here. Let's get back to the discussion or whatever. Let's time it again, huh? Getting pretty tired of this. But I just have this feeling. I don't deserve to be thinking like this, but it's like there's this strange glimmer of hope. Get out of Albany. Get out of gang life. Get out of the room and board. I can get out of this too, can't I? All I have to do is catch Sheol. Easy, right? You wanted to see my quick thinking again. Fine. Don't blink. Okay, we're back to the default. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. It's a bit annoying to skip through here like, god damn it, I did it again. Okay, there we go. Now we're skipping through here. Now we're getting somewhere. Next time, there's probably one more point to find here. We'll figure that out next time. Until then, hope you're enjoying. We are building up to something in, honestly, a really compelling fashion. I'm really enjoying how this is coming together. See you next time.